What's up, guys? Reshooting Mint Mode. I made the changes in the dock to reflect some of the minor changes that we did. So for this, first off, with the Mint Mode, there's no warm-up, right? So we just gonna go right in the first superset, 45-45 for 4 sets, 8 total sets per superset before moving on to the next superset in order. With that being said, our finisher is 3-minute, kind of slower tempo, and then our cool down, there is no stretches for this. It's just 4 minutes, well, essentially 3.5 minutes with the Sleeping Trees song on our back, feet flat, knees up to the roof, one hand on the abdomen, one hand on the chest, and they're just down regulated, focusing on their breath, closing their eyes, kind of letting the stress from the day kind of go, and just really just kind of focusing on getting in tune with that breath. All right, so we'll shut the lights off, play the Sleeping Trees song, so that way, you know, they can get sort of kind of that durability type feel without actually having the low intensity of durability. So we'll start with the first movement we have is the banded Pallof press. So that was a change from when it was originally written. The Pallof press, we're going to stand on the band, staggered stance. So back foot kind of toe dug in the floor, front foot slightly soft. I want to hold that band kind of at chest height, elbows in nice and tight and tucked. I'm going to press it out. Take a breath in first, press it out. Exhale as we return. Squeezing those abs, pulling the buttons. You're going to say, sandwich that core, guys. Pull it top to bottom. Breath in. Slight bend the elbows. Exhale out. I want to make this harder other than heavier resistance. Breath in. 3-second hold. 2, 3. Exhale as I bring it back. Okay, so a couple ways to make that harder, heavier or hold that. Sharper exhale, 3-second hold. The next one's a high plank slide, banded high plank slide. So what we're gonna do is grab that band in the center here, creates 2 loops. And what we're gonna do is put one wrist in one side of the loop, one wrist in the other, get to the high plank position, and then walk laterally. So 1, 2, 3 to the right, maintaining shoulder space or hand space, so that way we're working the posterior shoulder here, not letting those hands come together and then going from 0 tension to max tension. We want to make sure that there's tension throughout. Lower impact, let's say we can't do the walk. Get to the knees and just kind of tap that hand left and right while maintaining tension and keeping those hips tucked. So that is the second exercise, all right? The second pairing, we have the banded glute bridge. So we grab that band, okay, grab in the center, creates 2 loops, loop it around right foot, loop it around left, pull it up over the hips, and hold it here. Breath in, ribs down, exhale at the top, making sure those knees stay separated, making sure the ribs don't come up first. So we're squeezing that core, pulling it down, breath in, exhale at the top. Now we can make this harder by heavier resistance, lighter resistance to make it easier, and then for someone who's really, really struggling, maybe just no body awareness, the ribs are flaring all over the place, get them to no band first, make sure they're feeling it, make sure they're synchronizing their breath, and then going up. The next one is a seated or kneeling single arm banded pull down. So either kneeling or seated, I'm not going to demo both, but as long as they're upright, we're going to bring those arms overhead, extending those arms, we're going to pull down on one side, drive that elbow towards the hip, and let that breath out on each one. So breath in, exhale, focusing on that one side at a time. The next set will be the other side, all right? So maintaining that tension and driving those elbows towards the hip, really retracting those shoulders on each one. So heavier band makes that harder, lighter, easier. Moving on to the next one, we have the dual dumbbell squat and the alternating dumbbell get up. So for the dual dumbbell squat, grab a pair of dumbbells here, hold them right here at our hips. Big breath in before we squat, set that core. Breath in, down, squat. Think straight up and down here when we coach it. Up and exhale. All right, common mistake for this is we hinge first and then squat, dropping our chest, putting a lot of pressure on our low back. We want to make sure we're coming straight up and down here, guys. All right, coaching that up. So resetting that breath every time. Heavier weight will make that harder, lighter, easier, or even body weight for someone who's struggling with it, maybe somebody new. The next one is an alternating dumbbell ground get up. So slightly modified. We're going to start in the shin box position. Okay, holding the dumbbell here at our chest. We're going to press up through the hips, bring that leg forward and around, and then drive to that handstand. Okay, now getting back down, we're going to come down to the knee, swing that leg around back, and then come back to the floor. Seated position, and then let's hip switch. So hip switch over, other side, ready for it, press up, bring that leg through, stand. Okay, going back through, step back lunge, on that leg that comes down, swing the leg behind, place your hips back to the floor. If someone's having trouble with this, have them just do the body weight version of it, so press up, bring that leg forward, stand tall, okay? Now, for someone who may have knee issues getting up to that position, we can always just have them kind of do the press. So here, I can press and come back down, or for someone who really struggles with really tight hips, one hand on the inside portion of the thigh between the front foot and the back knee, and the hand on the outside, help them press up, but also come back down with good control. All right, so that's the dumbbell ground get up, and then they would hip switch to the other side. So if they're doing this version, press up, come back down, switch over to the other side, press up, come back down. All right, so that's the ground get up. Next one is a prone shoulder external rotation lift off. So we're gonna get down to our chest here. Arms at 90, okay, elbows at 90 here. Chin tucked, but off the ground, okay? So I want my forehead off the ground. I don't want to arch my back to get up here. I want to be nice and relaxed. Toes, knees, and hips down to the floor. Clench a soft fist. Again, elbows right in line with the shoulders, and all we're going to do is externally rotate off the ground. Hold, come back down, reset that breath. Inhale. Exhale on return. Breath in. Exhale on return. Make this harder, we add a 3-second pause. So up, 1, 2, 3, down. Now when we lift here, guys, we don't want to just lift and kind of lose tension. We want to keep driving those elbows through the floor and focusing on that good controlled breath, returning back to position. So that is a range of motion shoulder exercise. So whatever range of motion, maybe some people just can barely get it off the floor, some people can get it up higher. You're going to see a wide variety of that. So whatever the range of motion is, that's there. So the next exercise is an alternating hip lunge to shoulder car. So high plank position, we're going to hip lunge to that one side. We're going to follow this hand up by thumb up first. Okay, we're going to turn that hand over, rotate at the shoulder, follow it all the way back to the hip, bend the back elbow, okay, bend that elbow, try to bring it to the opposing hip. So my left hand is right near my right hip. Then I'm going to extend at the elbow, rotate at the shoulder, bring it back through. And then also the other side. Hip lunge, raise the arm up, thumb up first, get it overhead. Once it's overhead, turn that hand over, bring it towards the opposing hip by bending at the elbow. All right, if I have really tight hips, I can put that back knee down, extend at the elbow, rotate at the shoulder, bring it through. Okay, so great hip, shoulder, thoracic mobility exercise. ISO lunge car, so if someone can't be in the high plank position, just ISO lunge back, thumb up, nice and slow, follow it back. Again, bring that hand to the opposing hip, extend the elbow, rotate the shoulder, and follow through. So we'd alternate reps for that. Lastly, our finishers, high plank march to inchworm tempo squats, a 3-minute density. So high plank march, reverse shoulder stack, tap, tap for each side. Once we finish the 3 each side, inchworm our hands in, slowly. Remember the goal here of the finisher is to be slow and controlled. And then we're going to tempo squat up, about 3 seconds up, 4 seconds down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once they finish that squat, then they reach for the floor rather than just coming for the floor. You'll see people squatting, and then they're coming down, they're reaching. Finish the squat. 4 seconds down, finish it, then reach. Okay? So that's the finisher for week 1. Week 2, we got the alternating reverse lunge reach to sumo kick through. So alternating reverse lunge, I'll shoot that in the next video.